Hey guys, this is Brittnee Bond from the Remote Collective. I'm here with the amazing Jasmine.
Namaste.
And I wanted to interview you today to talk about all the cool stuff that you do. I think the world needs to know, and also, especially for a lot of women who want to start traveling and have their own business, and they don't really know what the options are out there. So we know each other from Thailand, but we're in Berlin right now.
This is our first time really hanging out and getting to know each other.
So
that's crazy.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm excited to do this. So you're originally from California, right?
Yeah, I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Represent California, and also maybe just share with people, I guess, what your business is. Because you're a traveler. I know you as someone who's kind of a goddess, a fashion goddess. But I didn't really understand what you did until we sat down and talked about it.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really cool.
Yes. Sure. So I'm Jazz. I'm Jamaican American. Grew up in Los Angeles, California, and about 4 years ago, I moved to Thailand. I was a professor for 2 years at a university called Konkan University, and while I was there, I was teaching international business, public speaking, business writing, and also a lot of digital marketing. Nice. And I realized a lot of my students, they're from this small village, and they had these really big dreams, but they felt like they were kind of stagnant in this town. And I was this foreigner, this funny-looking person. They had never seen a woman of color with dreadlocks. An American actually had never taught at this school before, so I was the first, and so I opened up a lot of new conversations, and I think just opened their eyes to new possibilities. And a lot of my students, they either wanted to be designers, a lot of them wanted to be models, a lot of them wanted to be photographers, or do something in the digital space. If they couldn't physically leave because they couldn't afford to, they thought the computer is away. And I'm like, hello. And I always had a passion for fashion and for jewelry and for beading and things like this, and I would just listen to them. So after class we would talk about their dreams, and I just thought, okay, here are these students who have a passion for art and they think they can't pursue it. And so I wanted to kind of bridge that gap, and I was building my own company, and it's called Malipa. It's actually a Thai nickname that was given to me while I was living in Southeast Asia, and Mali means jasmine flower. Aww. And Pa means wild. So
wild jasmine.
Wild jasmine. That was because my Thai family said, yeah, you're delicate and beautiful like a flower, but you're crazy and you're wild and you're colorful and you like to stand out. And I thought that's a beautiful gift to give to me, and also something that is really special. So I thought it would be the perfect way to also like combine with my passions of making clothing as well as accessories, specifically for braids or dreadlocks like my hair. And so essentially I realized that I was traveling and picking all of these beautiful pieces while I was traveling through Thailand and India and Nepal, and I was able to carry a lot of them, but some of them were like small charms and shells and beads that were blessed by monks or blessed by my host families, and they would give them to me, and I just thought, where am I going to put all this? I'm like backpacking around the world, like, and I realized that I could change my clothes, I could try on a lot of different things, but one thing that never changed was my hair, because this is my closest connection to my roots, my Jamaican roots, to my family, and I have a lot of pride in my culture. And so I thought, how can I turn these jewels that were so sacred and so special to me, not just throw them in a bag or in a box, but I'll wear them on something that reminds me of my culture. How can I bring these two cultures together? So I just had all these charms and beads, and I have some in my hair now, dream catchers.
Oh, that's so cool.
And so I just started to wear them around, and I went back home to America, and my friends were like, what is all of this? Like all these clothes and all these... And Malipa bloomed. So it's a collection of tropical hair accessories and statement pieces from Thailand, India, and Nepal.
That's so cool. Yes. And how are you able to do that while you travel? Because I think, like on a practical level, a lot of people who watch these shows are like, oh, well, maybe that I could never do that. And I really want to empower people. Like whatever you want to do in the world, you can do.
Yeah.
So is there any, I guess, tips or anything that's helped you?
Yeah. So one, I utilize my students. So if anyone's looking to teach abroad, these were my first set of staff. They're my first models, my first photographers, my first digital marketing specialists. They were able to learn while I was teaching them in a classroom setting as well. So however you are traveling originally, if you're a digital nomad, utilize your space, utilize the local community, everything I kind of had reached to, I knew it was going to be temporary. So I took advantage of it. So don't be afraid to also connect with people like Brittnee and myself, but also who's around you. What country are you in? Take advantage of that as well. And so that was the first step, setting up staff in the community. So they're there, they're not leaving. And then I just took care of all the digital space, set up my own website, but I started on Instagram, and that's free. So if anyone is like, oh, I can't afford to, that's free. Made my first sales through Instagram, got my first magazine cover from an Instagram post. Someone just found my stuff, and since it was still small and niche, they wanted access to it. I ended up, I will never forget this. I was in Koh Tao, just drinking a coconut in Thailand, working on something for Malipa. And I got a message from Cosmo magazine.
Wow.
Like, someone is wearing your hair charms at this red carpet event. I'm like, how the heck did they even find my stuff?
That's amazing.
And so that made me like wake up to the fact that you can use your creativity, your location, and not have to be anywhere for a project to bloom. You know? And that was when I literally was like www.howtobuildawebsite.com, because they wanted my credentials, they wanted my everything that I didn't really have. So this kind of woke me up to the idea that you can be a digital nomad, you can be an artist all in one. I use Wix. That was my first website that I built from Instagram business pages, Facebook. I was doing a lot of sales on Facebook as well. And so now I'm to the point that I can travel. I've already made relationships with either my suppliers, and I have a team that I, pay as well. But I see them once a year. Everything is through Facebook Messenger or calls or Skype.
Wow.
And we just get the alerts when a sale is made. I process it, they ship it, and I don't have to be there anymore.
That's so cool. That's so exciting. And
thank you.
When you went to Asia, did you think you wanted to start a business? Or did it just evolve?
I think it evolved. I think every part of my journey in Asia was preparing me for something. I went there to be a teacher and to focus on my art, whatever my art was going to be at that time, whether it was modeling or dancing or painting. But I didn't know that I would combine the two. So I was literally teaching things that I'm able to use now in my business. So I don't think I necessarily went out there saying I'm going to be a designer or like a jewelry maker. No. But I think everything is written, and I knew that my passions would collide, and it also involves travel. So I think I'm very...
So for you, you were just like, I'm going to go out and let the universe take care of the rest of it.
Take control and try a lot of new things. Like it started out being really based on clothing. And I realized that wasn't so sustainable for me. I didn't enjoy that process so much. I wanted to get to know the community in a different way that wasn't so... exchange of money. So I changed that. So even if you're looking to start a business, you might have one thing in your mind. I thought I was going to really be a clothing designer, and I didn't like that process. So I really had to restructure my business when I found out what my customers actually wanted. A lot of them were focusing on my hair accessories, and I'm like, but look at this dress.
You're trying to sell them something, and they're saying they want something else.
Exactly. Yeah. So listen to your market, and also pay attention to what makes your story unique. So that was what people bought into, not just the fact that I was selling clothing or jewelry. They liked the story behind it. And all of you have a story, and emphasize that. The fact that I was traveling to these places that a lot of people in the West couldn't see, I was bringing it to them. I was bringing them these stories of going to these temples and living with these people for so long. I always write postcards on all my notes so they know where it came from, who made it. I tell them their name in Thai or a little phrase or something, so I can bring a little piece of my journey to a place.
That's so cool. I love that. Is there anything you would want to say to like women who are traveling? I think we have or African American people who are traveling, because a lot of my friends, there's so much that they're afraid to ask, or like they don't know what they don't know, so they just, I don't know, is there anything, this is a platform for you to use.
Traveling has changed my life. It has shown me that I can literally be whoever I want to be. Any day I wake up, I can be a different Jasmine. You don't owe anything to anyone, not your family, not your partner. You only owe everything to yourself, actually. And so every day I just have to wake up and decide, who do I want to be today? this is my movie, and I am the director, I am the star, I am the leading actress, and if I just sit around and let someone else write the story, this is not, it's not true. And so every day that I remind myself that, I feel like I've made new relationships, or I've been able to try something new. And that was one thing that I really ran away from when I was living in Los Angeles. I felt like I was going to be in this certain life that everyone had set up for me, and I saw how miserable a lot of my colleagues or my friends and my family, they were as well. And I'm like, is this what life is supposed to be? Because I don't want that. So I'm going to rewrite my own story, and I'm going to make it as strange as possible. I don't care what anyone else thinks, but I know I'm living in my purpose, and whether that purpose changes today and tomorrow, just allow yourself to go out there and to try something, to fall on your face, to get back up, and really just keep going. There's not a lot of women of color that are traveling to some of these spaces that I was in. I was literally in a village. 1% of the population were foreigners. I think I was a part of that one. I was that tiny little like 0.5%. So very rarely I had anyone that I could physically identify with, but I loved that. I wanted to be around something completely different than I had been raised with. What's the point of going to another country and then being with someone who's just like you? How do you grow? How do you learn? How do you challenge yourself? So I thought, ooh, this is like friction, and friction, out of friction comes diamonds, comes growth, you know? And so I took that with ease, and I took all the stares and the funny looks and the...
I think that's the thing, though. People, how did you handle that? Because some people would be like, oh, no, I'm not going to go there.
Well, I embraced it. I'm like, well, this ain't changing. I don't want to change.
Yes. I mean, I think that's amazing. I just think that's like really...
It's easier said than done.
Yeah.
There was definitely times, like, for example, I live next to a 7-Eleven. You know, they're everywhere. I would just want to go across the street and get a toastie or some bread or something. Impossible. People stop and stare. Literally, someone got in a motorbike accident, like stopping and looked like, huh, and crap. Like there was literally no one like me in this area. Wow. No one spoke English. Everyone only spoke Thai. So this was also like a language journey that I integrated myself in. And once I got past that, like I could speak Thai, my experience expanded. They welcomed me. They saw, okay, this girl's actually here for a different purpose. She wants to get to know us. And they treated me different. I was welcomed everywhere. I had friends all over my town. I don't know.
I think those are the stories people need to hear more.
Yeah.
I don't feel like they're amplified enough.
Yeah, be the one, be the first, and represent. Like, a lot of the times I was the first black woman some of my students had ever seen, other than on TV. And if they saw me on TV or someone like me on TV, we're portrayed not in the highest manner. So I was like, okay, this is my chance to represent my culture and to show us in a good light and make us more welcoming, and also just bridge a gap that maybe they will never see someone like me ever again. And this is my chance to figure out, actually, who am I? Like, who are we? Who am I representing right now? What is the light that I actually want to share? And yeah, I feel like that's changing every day, but I feel like it's also my duty to go into these small crevices and to make these relationships with people and learn their tongue and just challenge myself. I think that's going to continue on forever.
That's amazing. Well, I'm excited to hang out with you again in Thailand. Yes. We're going to both be out there so soon. It's a festival that we love. But yeah, thank you for letting me interview you.
Yes.
I feel like that was really powerful. Like, I'm like, yes, please. I'm so excited to share this with my community. And I just keep being you, man.
Thank you.
I don't think I need to tell you anything. But
I have a question.
Yeah.
If anyone on here does anything with reusable plastic, or I can show you like a little
packaging stuff?
Yeah, packaging. So some of my products and stuff, I have to use plastic because I have yet to find anything else. So this is one of the dream catchers that's like hanging in my hair.
Yeah.
And I want to transform this into reusable plastic. So if anyone out there does something with that, please can you comment below, help a sister out.
Yes, I will send all the links in the bio.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Yes.
So nice to have you on the show.
Kapumaka.
Kapumaka. It's Brittnee Bond from Remote Collective signing off. Bye, guys.